You're on your lunch break scrolling through YouTube, and suddenly you see a stick man. A funny looking stick man with 4.6 million views. So you click it, and there it is. There's no fancy editing or 3D, no person, just simple photos of stick figures put together one after the other. And that's it. Photos of stick figures viral. Sounds too good to be true, I know. So you open up the channel and there you see it. 500k subscribers, high total views. And the first video was published just 1 year ago. And you freeze and you think, if a stick man can go viral, why am I sitting here at work doing something I hate? And so that night, you decide, let's dig deeper. You open up your laptop and you start typing and try to do the same, but it totally flops because you don't know how to write a script that people actually want to watch, and every tool is expensive, and at the same time, the Stickman channel got another viral video, and you're just sitting there in the dark with nothing, waiting for the sun to rise and you to return to your regular 9 to 5. I know what that's like because I've been there, but in this video I'll show you a free way to create these videos with no design skills and no paid tools, step by step. But first, open up ChatGPT and all you need is the free plan, no subscription, no 5 tools, and the first step is generating ideas. Now, it's really simple. I do my research manually and with a couple of tools, and then I find a niche that I'm interested in. I'm not gonna spend so much time here because everybody talks about this, and I've made a lot of videos on finding a niche, but really quick, what I do is I have a prompt I made which gives me viral ideas in my niche, but not only ideas, but also topics that are based on things that already work. Videos that have already gone viral and topics that are known to perform. And that's a good place to start. AI can do incredible research for you and find those ideas, as long as you give it the right direction. If you want my prompts and a full workflow of this, I'll leave a link in the description as well. Now I pick one of these ideas and then I head over to YouTube, the best platform, and I search around a little bit and I validate so it's a real good idea and it actually, performs on YouTube and it's not just the AI hallucinating, which sometimes it's gonna tell you things that aren't true. And then once I've picked my idea, I literally just follow a sequence of prompts, simple as that, which creates the structure of my video step by step, and then it creates the script with me barely lifting a finger. Now here's the script I created on the screen using this exact process, and it's about 15 minutes long, the faceless script, and it actually looks pretty good, don't you think? I'll now dump the script over into a Google Docs, whatever Word document you want to do, because big disclaimer, you have to do some manual editing as well. And yes, it takes real work. Damn, you're gonna have to do some work, not just press a button. That would be great, but it doesn't really work that way. So I spent some time improving the intro. I cut out any boring parts. And look, AI is really good, but it does make mistakes, and spending 25 to 30 minutes editing will bring it from a 5 out of 10 to, let's say, an 8 out of 10. People often skip the manual editing stage and wonder why their scripts feel like AI slop and get no views. I mean, it's because they are. So do one final edit yourself. Now, let's make our final video using only free tools to create these faceless YouTube videos. And you could literally sit back, order a pizza, and have everything ready before dinner. But warning, don't start editing, don't even think about it yet. This is what destroys a lot of faceless creators. They have a script and now they start putting together the visuals. They go to ChatGPT, they generate some scenes, they generate images, but it's the wrong order. You want to start with the voiceover first, always. And then once you have a voiceover, you have that ready, then you may start looking at the production side. And the reason is pretty simple. If you don't do this, and if you start with the editing, the flow of your video is going to feel off, and the rhythm is not going to match the voiceover. The voiceover is our entire foundation. It's the backbone of our video, and it's why the Stickman hit 4.6 million views with literally just a Stickman. So here's how we do it and build it properly, step by step. You want to start by taking your script and turn it into a voiceover. In this example, I'm going to use 11 Labs, which has a free plan to create AI voices with. But wait a second, a big disclaimer here. Don't pick a generic voice. You want to pick something unique. Or, even better, you can clone your own voice in these tools. Both options work. And the reason is pretty simple. A lot of the AI slop videos use the same basic AI voices, which means they've become a target for the algorithm. So even if you make good content, you might still be caught in the crossfire, which is why I recommend you stay far away from those generic voices. Now you can even use something called Google AI Studio to create your voices. And that's the same company that actually owns YouTube. So yes, Google is for AI, they're not against it, but they are against low quality slop. So now what I'm going to do is very simple. It's to download the audio from my script and let's create our scenes. Now this changes everything, because how do you know when a scene starts, when to move your little stick figure and decide, okay, what should I put in my video? Well, here's how you do it. You can use a transcription tool that is going to analyze your underlying voiceover, your audio file, and it's going to scan it and it's going to look at, okay, what's going on here? What's happening here? And it's going to read your pauses in your sentences, well, the AI voice, between the different paragraphs and sentences where you, pause. And that becomes the right place to put an image or change your scene, because it's kind of like the natural breakpoint of your video, different pauses in the spoken script. Now, before you would have to do this manually, but you don't need to do that. It can be done with tools which work in any language and can analyze your underlying script audio voiceover file. And then you take that new transcript, which basically breaks down your script in different natural ways, and you throw that into ChatGPT again to ask it to now generate an image for every different scene that you've broken down. I know there's a lot happening all at once, but I'm going to explain it and you don't need to stress about this. So what's going to happen is that AI is going to analyze this script now, and it's going to generate one image at a time for each of these little sections in your script, which means it's basically producing a whole video, one image at a time. Now, I get it, it's a little annoying, I know, and you have to keep going until it's generated every image, because you have to do it step by step. You have to ask one image, next one, next one. But again, you don't need to design anything or record anything. And there are different tools to speed up this process. You can just click like one button and do all of this. But again, let's keep everything free and very simple and basic here. So even though it's going to take a little bit of time to produce all of your images, when they're ready, we have every scene that we need for our video, without designing anything ourselves. So now, it's time to start to put everything together and start getting some views, hopefully. So open up your editing software. I do recommend CapCut for beginners because it's very easy to use with many AI features, and it's also cheap and free. Not sponsored, by the way. They have a good free plan which pretty much covers everything you need for this video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna import my voiceover, import the different scenes, your images, and then just put them together in the right order, step by step, so everything matches according to the script that you generated, with the small indicators of where to switch, and matching them to that voiceover. A little manual work, which there are ways to speed this up as well, but it's very simple, nothing complicated, that's all. So now, after putting together all of our generated images into CapCut and just aligning them properly with our script, we basically have a full video. Now, can we do more? Yes. Do we need to? No. We could add music, we could add a lot of different effects, we could add some cool transitions, but let's make sure we get viral and gain something from all of our hard work and actually get views. So we go back to GPT and we ask it, please come up with some different thumbnail ideas for my topic. And a big warning and a disclaimer here: when you're using AI for these ideas, you need to make sure the AI actually goes out and researches and finds real examples. Some AIs don't do that and others just hallucinate. So it's important that you model things that actually work instead of just random hallucinations and ideas. Because the goal is to scan for good thumbnails and basically get ideas. And so you can double check this too. But anyway, then we simply ask the AI to generate our thumbnails, which you can do all within ChatGPT or a similar tool. So we go back and forth, we correct a few things, we might ask it to do something different, and then we download it, and here's an example of a thumbnail that I just made. Now, I personally like to do some final edits and add it to another program, which I talk about in other videos, but that's it. I spent nothing, so even with a tiny budget, imagine what's possible on YouTube. Now, everything I didn't have time to cover in this video is explained in detail in my full training for free, which you can find a link to in the description if it's still available. Thanks and good luck, my friend.